Good morning, children. Welcome to your English video lecture. So, children, as you all know that your physical classes are now, resumed. Some of the children, they are attending the physical classes, and I hope that all of you, those who are not attending the physical classes, you will also feel that after some time you want to go back to the school. But till then, when you are not attending the physical classes, you will be getting the videos of the lectures that that your teachers are teaching in the classroom. So children, here in this English video lecture, I will be taking the English literature part today. Okay, and in English literature, the poem that we are going to start today is, the name of the poem is Chivvy. Okay children, and it is from your book Honeycomb. So in this poem, first of all, what we are going to do in this video is that I will be first of all reading the poem. Okay, I will be reciting the poem, and after the recitation of the poem, what I am going to do is I am going to take a stanza. Okay, and I am going to explain that stanza to all of you. Okay, I hope this much is clear to all of you. So now let's first of all, before we move into the poem, before we start understanding the poem, let's first understand the word that the name of the poem, which is Chivvy. What is the meaning of the word Chivvy? So as I was in the classroom, I discussed this with other children also, that what they think the meaning of the Chivvy is. So most of them were the response which I get was that it can be a name of a person. But no children, it is not a person's name. Chivvy basically means to nag at someone. And now you will think, what is the meaning of the word nag? Nag simply means when someone is continuously telling you what to do and what not to do, right? As you all are children, so you might have have this feeling in you whenever your parents are telling you what to do and what not to do. At some point of time, when you are hearing that thing again and again, it feels as if someone is nagging at you. Nagging means they are telling you what to do and what not to do, and that too in an annoying way. It is when you are being told what to do and what not to do again and again repeatedly. So you may feel that the person who is telling you all that, they are basically nagging at you. So to Chivvy means, Chivvy, the general word with Chivvy, here you can see here, this is the definition of Chivvy which is written in the dictionary. So let's read this. To Chivvy is to nag, to continuously urge someone to do something, often in an annoying way, according to the dictionary. So this definition is according to the dictionary. Generally you can say that Chivvy means to nag. Okay, but in dictionary the name which is also equivalent to this, that to nag means to continuously urge someone to do something, okay, which often feels as if someone is annoying them. Okay, if you are being told all the time that what you should do and what you should not do, so at a point you will feel like the person who is telling you all of this, they are basically nagging at you. Nagging means continuously आपको बार-बार a person is telling you again and again that what you should do and what you should not do. Okay, so this is the meaning of the word Chivvy. For example, if you want to understand it much better, you can take it as during this pandemic time, right? All your children are small. You have this restlessness in you, right? You feel that we want to go outside, we want to play. Even nowadays the times are COVID is much less now. Not that much less, but it basically people are not afraid of it actually. But when the pandemic, the actual the first time when the pandemic hit, and when PM said to the nation that there is going to be a lockdown, so what happened, at the starting people they enjoyed it. But with time, when everyone was locked in their house, most of the time you might have feel that when your parents are telling you not to go outside, and if with some reason you went outside, so they are telling you to wash your hands, use sanitizer, wear your mask properly. So all these things, when someone is telling you again and again, this feels as if someone is nagging at you. Okay, so with this example, I hope that you understood that what is the meaning of the word Chivvy. Okay, children, now let's move on. Okay, so what I am going to do right now is I am going to recite the poem. Okay, and after the recitation of the poem, I will be taking the explanation of the poem. Okay, so I have explained you the meaning of the poem, but I have not actually told you the name of the poet. So the name of the poet is Michael Rosen. Okay, and before even I move on into the poem, I would like to give you a small catalog that what we are going to read in this poem. So the poem is basically poet is basically saying in this poem is that all the grown-ups, they dictate the young children. They dictate us, they tell us what to do, what not to do, right? They constantly tell us, gives us instruction. They have this long huge list of instructions where they are telling us what to do and what not to do, again and again, repeatedly. Even if we are sitting, they are telling us not to sit like that. Even if we are eating, they are telling us not to eat like that. So these are the instances which the poet has included in his poem to make all of you understand that if someone tells you repeatedly to do something and to stop something, don't do this, all this a perfect list of perfection, so it feels as if someone is nagging at you, and at some point of time it feels so annoying to hear all of that. So after hearing all of this from the adults, the poet has realized that the grown up, they basically just dictate the children, and the adults constantly give a list of instruction to the children about how to sit, how to talk, how to eat, and so on, right? Now let's recite the poem, children. Okay, grown up says things like speak up, don't talk with your mouth full, don't stare, don't point, don't pick your nose. Sit up, say please, less noise, shut the door behind you. Don't drag your feet. Haven't you got a hanky? Take your hands out of your pocket. Pull your socks up, stand up straight. Say thank you, don't interrupt. No one thinks you are funny. Take your elbows off the table. Can't you make your own mind up about anything? So here you see that in the poem, the poet has basically used lines that the elders are telling him to do, right? For example, he said shut up, don't talk, speak up. So all these type of lines, these are generally the nagging points that the elders have for the children, right? So this was the recitation of the poem, children. Now I will be taking a stanza and I will be explaining the meaning of the stanzas. Okay, so the first stanza is, grown up says things like speak up, don't talk with your mouth full, don't stare, don't point, don't pick your nose. So here you can see that the poem begins with the instructions from the grown up, right? The poet here has put forward that what are the instructions that the elders or that the grown ups gives in the in the family of anyone. These all instructions, or you can say these all lines, you might have heard it somewhere, or in your home by your elder or anyone else, like your parents, your teachers, all of you. These are the simple lines that every child has to hear in his life. Okay, so these are, at some point of time, everyone feels that these all are nagging issues. They are just nagging at us, they are telling us what to do and what not to do, because at points what happened, children, they became rebel, right? You have done a poem also by the name rebel, so you all understand that what is the meaning of the word rebel, right? So when someone is giving you instruction, but if the instruction is coming continuously and same instruction all the time, so so student or child, they think that someone is at nagging at them, right? So similarly the poet has begun the instructions from the from the grown up. With the poem is actually beginning with the instructions that the grown up given to the children, right? They tell him to speak up, right? They tell him to speak up. And when he is talking to talking to be heard by all, when he wants that all all must heard him, he wants to tell a story. Suppose you went to your school and something very funny happens, okay, and you want to tell the story, and when you when you are telling the story, they will say that don't talk. And if you are not in a mood to say something, you are doing something else, they will say, oh beta, please come here and sit down with us and talk to us, right? So they teach him manners and tell him not to talk with food in the mouth. With a mouthful means, don't talk with a mouthful means when you are talking when you are eating something, sorry, when you are eating something, you should not talk, right? This is general manners. So the poet is saying that they teach him manners and tell him not to talk with food in the mouth. Okay, they teach him manners, they tell him not to talk with the food in the mouth, not to stare, not to point fingers at others, right? And not to pick his nose. These also happens with us, right? We all as a children, we have experienced this all these type of nagging issues with us also. These might have happened with every one of you, that all the children, they are corrected by their parents. Their parents, they generally do what, they try to teach their children how to behave correctly. So for that, what they do, they basically tell you not what are the things that you should do and what are the things you should not do, right? So they repeatedly, this is one thing that they have in them, that they repeatedly tell you what to do and what not to do. So these are the few you can say lines of few things that the poet is telling us, that my parents, they generally tell me all these list of things to do. They have their do's and don'ts, right? Next stanza. Sit up, say please, less noise, shut the door behind you, don't drag your feet, haven't you got a hanky, take your hands out of your pocket. So here in the second stanza also, right, in this stanza, we see that adults continuously giving instruction to the children, right? These all are instruction. All of these are instructions, like less noise, don't make noise. Simply you can understand that if less noise means don't make noise. Sit up, right? Sit up means sit properly. Say please. So all of these are the instructions that are given to a child by an elder or a parent, right? The poets here in this particular stanza, the poet's parents tell him to sit up instead of slouching. Okay, instead of putting his back down, instead of slouching, his parents are basically telling him to sit straight. Okay, sit with a straight back. They asked him to use please while asking for anything, right? If he is asking for anything, his parents wants him to ask for something very politely. So they are generally telling him that if he is asking for something, he should ask with he should be asking as if by using the word please, like please give me this thing, right? So they want to correct their child. You can see that the parent are nagging because they are basically correcting your you can say correcting your mistakes. But if someone continuously tells you that may be annoying, that feels sometime annoying, right? And then the poet says that they tell him to shut the door when he leaves the room and not to drag him his feet, right? They are telling him to shut the door and don't drag your feet means when the poet is leaving and he's some people, they don't actually walk properly. They how they walk, they drag their feet while they walk. So here the poet is saying that they tell him to shut the door when he is leaving, and leaving the room, okay, and not to drag his feet while walking. When he is walking, when the poet walks, what happens, he drags his feet. So they also, point out at that thing, that don't drag your feet, walk properly. Okay, they don't make that annoying noise which you are making while you're walking. What happens, people who drag their feet while walking, they make very annoying noise. And if you will, hear it continuously, you will feel that you will also, try to correct that person. So here the poet's parents, they are, telling him not to drag his feet. They ask him if, they basically ask him that he has handkerchief or not, right, and to take his hands out of his pocket. Suppose if he has put his hand inside the pocket, the parents or the elder, they are, instructing him to put his hands, put his hands out from the pocket. So here in these two stanzas, we can see that, poet has basically provided a catalog. So with these two stanzas, we can understand that the poet is basically doing what, he is presenting the catalog of various do's and don'ts, right? The do's and don'ts that the grown-ups, they dictate to the children. They basically give a list of things to the children, what they have to do and what they should do. They basically tells the instructions, right? They that you have to follow this, you have to, do this, all these things that the poet is here. So here the poet is saying that all the list of these do's and don'ts which are provided by the grown-ups, which are they are repeatedly telling us what to do and what not to do, what they are giving the instructions, okay, to behave like this, to behave in a certain way. So to all these things, poet find it as a nag. Okay, nag means he thinks that they are, continuously telling you. It is basically annoying. Annoying means irritating. Okay, so poet thinks when a grown up or a elder, they tell you continuously that what you should do and what you should not do, it, for the poet, it is a annoying thing. Annoying means, you, if suppose in general way, if you are told every time what you should do and what you should not do, you will also feel that, it is annoying, it is irritating, that they are all the time telling us what to do. So here the poet has presented a poem in which he is telling us that how grown up, they have a list of their do's and don'ts for the children. Okay, now let's move on to the third stanza, children. Yes. Pull your socks up, stand up straight, say thank you, don't interrupt. No one thinks you're funny. Take your elbows off the table. Can you make your own mind up about anything? We will discuss this part later. First, we are going to discuss the above stanza. Okay, so here in this stanza, the adults, they are giving the instructions. What are the instructions? That is of pulling up the socks. Pulling up the socks means to pull up the socks. अपनी socks जो है वो नीचे हैं, उन्हें ऊपर कर लीजिए. Okay, pull up the socks. This is the instruction that the elders are giving. Okay, and stand straight. They are giving the instruction that you should pull up your socks and you should stand straight. So these are all these lines you can related to your school life also, that when you are standing in a line, let's say assembly, and you are there are many children there, those who wear socks but their socks are not pulled up properly. So your teacher, if they see it, what we do, we basically guide you that you should pull up your socks. And when you are not standing straight in your assembly line, or let's say any other line, so the grown up or the person who is seeing you, which is an adult, will tell you how you should stand up. Okay, so the poet is here saying all these things. They tell him to say thank you to the people when he is giving something. Okay, when he is given something, when someone is giving something to the poet, the adults or the grown up, they basically tell him to thank that person for giving him or giving him that thing, right? They command him not to interrupt the adults while they are talking, right? This is the general command. I hope that all of you have once in your life have heard this, when you know your parents or when any grown up they are talking, and you want, you know, you want to tell them something, you want to, you know, go and tell a story about something, so they will, you know, simply tell you that they basically command you that you should not interrupt while when two elders are talking, right? And they also tell him to take the elbows off the table, as it was not good table manners, right? When you are sitting in a table, you are not supposed to put your elbows on the table. So these are the all general instructions that the adult here in this poem, that the adults is giving to the poet, okay? That he should sit straight, he should you know, walk properly, he should not make noises while he is walking. So these are the general instructions that the grown-ups are giving to the poet. Now let's move on to the last two lines. Can you make your own mind up about anything? So finally, as a child, you know, as a children are very fickle minded. Fickle minded means they are very restless, they are thinking continuously different things. The adult asks if there is anything that they can make their mind up about and stick to it. As we all know that as children basically have a mind where they have this restlessness inside them, that they want to do different type of things at a similar time. Suppose if you are you know, sitting, as I was I have seen children, what they do is, where when teacher is teaching, they, you know, some children, they feel so restlessness that what they do, they start playing with it, with the pen, or the, if you will, you know, if you will say them that don't do this, what they will do, they will start folding the paper. So these are the general things that children do. So they, by this you can understand that how restlessness they have inside them. So the you know, the grown up, they basically ask children that, do you have any kind of, you know, straightness in your mind, that you, if you are stick to something, you have made up your mind that you want to do that, you can you stick to that thing. So this is the where the poem ends, okay? So this is where the poem ends, children. Okay, so children, in your class today, what I have given as a homework is, all of you, first of all, what is your homework is, first of all, you have to do 10 hard words, okay, from the poem. After 10 hard words, you have to do the word meaning of those hard words, okay, word meanings of the hard words, and with the word meaning you will also make sentences from those hard words, okay? So 10 hard words. After 10 hard words, you are going to write the word meaning of those hard words, okay? You can use your dictionary. So I, you know, I don't want any message that, ma'am, from where we are supposed to do the word meaning, as there is no word meaning in the book. You can simply understand that you can use a dictionary for the meaning of the word, okay? Or after that word meaning, you are supposed to write sentences from those hard words, okay? And also you have to write the theme of the poem, that what is the theme that is included in the poem, okay? So this is your homework, children, and I hope that all of you will do your homework correctly in your fair notebooks, okay? So here, children, I will be ending the video, and I hope that all of you, you know, you will do your homework correctly in your fair notebooks. I am repeating it again. What is your homework? Your homework is to write 10 hard words. With the 10 hard words, you are going to write the word meaning of those hard words, and you will also make sentences from those hard words, okay? All the 10 sentences, all the 10 hard words should be included in a sentence, okay? And with this you will also do the theme of the poem. This is your homework, okay, children? I hope you understood it. So here, children, I will be ending the video. Thank you for watching the video, and if you have any queries related to the poem, you can ask me in your whenever you get the time, you can ask me, and I will be taking up your queries. Thank you so much.